In today's episode, we are going to cover 20 mind-blowing viral gardening hacks that actually work. These hacks are so effective that I actually shared them on my own socials and they went gangbusters. These aren't just tips, these are guaranteed to save you time, money, and effort, so stick around and at the end, tell me which ones you are going to try in your garden next. Okay, viral hack number 1 is a natural pesticide. Don't at me in the comments when I give you the ingredients to this. When I say natural, I mean it doesn't have any harmful chemicals in it like a normal pesticide would. So this is a spray that you can create at home with just a few ingredients. I did this myself. It worked incredibly well, especially if you have things like caterpillars, little grasshoppers, little bugs like earwigs, anything that's really causing havoc in your garden. You should try this first because it's a great alternative to harmful chemicals. So the mix is half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of dishwashing liquid, 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil, and 500 ml of water. So if you shake it all up, you've got your beautiful natural spray that you can spray on the foliage of all of your plants. One tip, when you spray this, make sure you do it early morning or late evening because there is that oil component to it. So if you did it in the middle of the hot day in summer, it could burn the leaves of your plants. Give this a try, you will thank me, it works. And if you want proof, look at all of these amazing comments. People love it and I love it. Number 2 is a chemical-free slug deterrent or snail deterrent. Next time you are using eggs in the kitchen, keep the eggshells. These eggshells are going to be a godsend in your garden if you haven't used them already. Clean them, let them dry out, and just crush them so there's enough sharp edges on the eggshells. And what you want to do is lay those sharp edges around the base of your plants. What this is it acts as a barrier to repel snails or slugs because their soft underbelly don't like the harsh, jagged edges from the eggshell. So do this as a way of making the slugs and the snails back off. Hack number 3 is the sticky tape hack. Sticky tape hack, or sellotape hack if you are from America or somewhere that says sellotape. I've done this multiple times. It works great if you find small eggs on the underside of your leaves, which are typically from things like cabbage moth or caterpillar eggs or anything you don't want eating your plants. So you can use sticky tape, wrap it on the other side of your hand so the sticky side is facing outwards, and just gently tap it onto the back of the plant's leaves, and that's going to pull off the eggs. I've also done this with aphids and it works well as long as you don't have an oversupply of aphids. Number 4, this is my favorite hack. I can't believe that I did not know this hack for so long. If you do not know this hack, it's going to change your life, and it's beer traps. If you know about beer traps, amazing. I'm so glad you know. I didn't know, and I'm so glad to be a part of the beer trap club. Snails and slugs, they love beer, or more importantly, they love the yeast in the beer. So if you grab some small little containers, put them around your garden where you're mostly finding a problem with snails and slugs, bury them slightly into the ground so as the snail walks along, it will go towards the beer and it will fall into the beer trap, and you will collect a lot of slugs and snails. You might have to do this multiple times, so I would do it at least for a week until you know you've gotten rid of the entire slug or snail population. But thank me later, it will save you. Number 5, this is a viral hack, but I also learned this from my grandfather, and it's using full cream milk and water. That's it. The importance is full cream milk, so full fat. You don't want to use milk that is light, it doesn't have the fat content that you need. Mix that into a spray and use that to spray on aphids, as well as it works quite well with like fungal diseases. Again, don't ask me why, I think the calcium in it works, but it's also the fat in the milk in a really nice way suffocates the aphids and it kills them. Disclaimer, it's not going to work once. You need to do this consistently for a few days at a time. Hack number 6, on the topic of aphids, because I have had a bloody gutful of aphids in my time as a gardener, soapy water. And just give it a good old spray. I have also used soapy water using like a squeegee onto the back side of my leaves to try and deter aphids. Whatever works, but just make sure that you drench those aphids in some soapy water. Again, do this multiple times. Number 7, mesh bags. So mesh drawstring bags. They look like this. And you can get them from anywhere. I got mine from Amazon. I'll add a link in the description below. Next time you have beautiful strawberries or capsicums or anything that you are growing, tomatoes, and you don't want to share them with birds or pests, simply use these mesh bags as a little barrier to cover your fruit or your vegetables as they're growing or as they're ripening on the vine, and tie it tight. You can then take that mesh bag off and keep reusing it. It is a game changer. The only thing to keep in mind, if you are a beginner gardener and you're not aware of this, don't tie the mesh bags over the flower because they need to be pollinated first before they turn into fruit or vegetables. Number 8, this is the most satisfying and disgusting yet satisfying hack. It is the peel and reveal method using a potato peeler. You can also use a knife. I've actually done a full video on this, so click above somewhere up here to watch it, but this is particularly for citrus gall wasp. I have used it on this citrus tree and it works amazing. You simply peel back the galls and inside is the larvae from the citrus gall wasp. You just peel back one side, the oxygen then will go to the larvae and it will kill them. Just make sure that you do it on every single gall, but don't do it on every single side of the branch because it will kill the tree. But it is so satisfying seeing all of the little larvae inside the gall. Okay, so we've wrapped up pest control now. If there's anything that I've missed that's a really great gardening hack for pest control, please add it in the comments below. Now we're going to talk about boosting plant growth and yield. Hack number 9, tapping tomatoes. This also works for chilies, capsicum plants. Why would you tap a tomato plant? Well, great question. So essentially a tomato flower has both male and female aspects to the stamen, and so when you tap the flower, it's actually going to release the pollen onto the stamen, and that's going to pollinate the plant. So that's what you need to get your tomatoes or capsicums or chilies. Now, you don't need to do this, but it helps if you want to increase your yield or if you're having trouble pollinating your tomatoes, chilies, capsicums, especially if it hasn't been windy or there's no bees around your area. It's just a really great habit to get into just to make sure you're pollinating every flower you can. Some people say to use an electric toothbrush with this as well. Hack number 10, this is more of a basic beginner hack, but still really important if you're not aware. When you are growing tomatoes, since we're on the topic, you don't have to wait for them to be fully ripe before you pull them off the plant. It's actually better to wait until they've just started to blush, so they've got a little bit of an orange tone to them, and that's the time to harvest them. The reason why you want to do that, it's a twofold reason. One, as soon as you harvest them, that plant then can put all its energy back into creating more tomatoes as opposed to just ripening that one that's on the vine. And number 2, they're going to ripen anyways, but it means that you're grabbing them before any pests can start like getting their eyes on them thinking, once they're ripe, I'm gonna eat them. Hack number 11, watering your seedlings from the bottom up rather than the top down. Why? Because seedlings are really fragile little things, and if you're going to be dumping water from the top, 1, it could be damaging them, especially when they're really fragile, but 2, the water might not reach the roots in the way that you want, and it could cause stunted growth and all of that stuff. It's just easier to grab a tray, fill it full of water, place your seedling tray into that, and it will absorb the water. And the bonus hack of this is it's going to train your little baby seedlings to grow their roots further down to reach towards the water. And we all know that plants that have very strong, deep roots are going to be far healthier when they reach into their maturity phase, once they go through their teenage phase. Hack number 12, using eggshells as a fertilizer. So once you've dried out your eggshells, again, like the first hack that we were talking about with eggshells, you just ground them into a fine powder and use this to put through your soil for your plants. It adds an element of calcium to strengthen the roots of the plants, which will then help them grow faster and stronger, especially if you have high acidic soil and you want to neutralize that acidity. Eggshells work wonders. Number 13 is a very funny gardening hack. Next time you are pulling out weeds from your garden, simply put those weeds into a bucket full of water and leave them for at least 7 to 10 days. What happens is the water will start pulling out all of the nutrients from the weeds that were trying to steal nutrients from your garden, and then you can re-water your garden with that nutrient-rich water to give back the nutrients to your plants. So it's like the circle of life. It's karma for weeds. Number 14 is kind of a hack, but it's also just best practice, and that is pruning the leaves around the base of your plants, especially for tomatoes or bushy plants. It encourages airflow. It also prevents things like fungal disease when there's not a lot of airflow around the base of the plant. Hack number 15 is next time you are making a coffee, if you use plunger coffee and you have the grounds, the coffee grounds left over, don't throw them away. keep those because they are wonderful for your plants, especially plants that love acidic soil. So eggshells reduce the acidity, coffee increases the acidity, and some plants thrive in acidic soil. So brew your coffee, pour the water in so you've got all of the coffee grounds, wait for them to cool down, and then water your garden with those coffee grounds. And once they seep through into the soil, it's going to help increase the acidity. Hack number 16, next time you are eating a banana, keep that banana peel, put it in a jar of water, leave it for 7 to 14 days, let it brew, and then you have a fantastic banana fertilizer for your plants. A bonus tip, you can actually blend up the banana peel if you want it to start to break down faster. It works pretty well. Okay, we are on to the third part of the hacks, which is just general amazing game-changing hacks. Hack number 17. So we were talking about those mesh bags. The other great use for these mesh drawstring bags is as a seed collecting device. So the next time that your lettuce bolts and goes to seed, or any of your plants go to seed, just use that same mesh bag, cover the flowered seed, cover the seed pods, and let them dry out. Once the seeds have started to fall into the bag, give them a bit of a shake and it will collect all of those seeds, and you can keep them for sowing next time, and you've got free seeds. Hack number 18, I do this hack religiously. It is all about getting free plants. So if you want to learn more about getting free plants, watch this video above. But essentially this hack is about spring onions. So if you buy spring onions or you cook with them a lot, next time you have them, cut off the very ends or the tips of them, put them into a little tiny jar of water and pop them on a windowsill so they get a little bit of sunlight. They will grow so quickly. Within 7 days they will start to be sprouting. I think I have a spider in my hair. Within 7 days they should start to sprout, and you can plant them out into your garden. You will never have to buy spring onions ever again. You're welcome. Hack number 19. A lot of the time you will buy tomato plants and they will have that rust on them, and the rust is essentially a fungal disease, and if you don't treat it quickly it will spread over the entire plant. And actually if you leave them in the soil, it can actually impact the soil and the location that you're growing in. So you want to treat them fast. And this is a game changer. I literally found this hack online and it's amazing. You mix 1 part hydrogen peroxide, which you can get from your local supermarket, with 3 parts water, and either spray or water your garden with that solution on the affected fungal areas. And it fixed my tomato plant literally like with doing it twice. I watered it 2 times and the tomato plant was so healthy, so thriving, and when I first got it I was worried it was not going to last. A little mention of that is there is definitely something crawling on my face. Comment below if you can see a spider on my face that I don't know about. A little bonus tip for the hydrogen peroxide rust treatment is you still want to keep the leaves quite dry when you're not using that treatment. So when you're watering the plants as per usual, just water from the base. Don't keep the moisture in the leaves. But when you're actually treating them, obviously you want to water the whole leaves with that hydrogen peroxide water solution. And the last hack is about propagating fruit trees. So when I went to my mum's recently, she had a big storm and a lot of the branches on her trees had snapped and broken off, and we decided to propagate them, and she showed me exactly how to do it. So it's essentially getting free plants again, but all you need to do is cut off ideally the newer branches, not the old woody branches, and you will see a little node on the little branches. Just cut off directly underneath that node, and that's where the roots come from. Put them in a bucket of water for up to 1 or 2 weeks. They will start to grow little roots, and then you can actually either use a rooting agent, honey, or just plant them straight into the soil. It actually works wonders, and that is how my mum grows all of her amazing trees. And if you want to know more about my mum, she owns 6 acres on a rural homestead in Queensland, southeast Queensland, and I have a full video taking you through the tour of her self-sufficient homestead above. Thank you so much for watching. If you want one final free hack, watch this video here, and it's going to show you the best technique for doubling your yield of potatoes. Do this every time and you will get way more potatoes than if you don't do this hack. Trust me, you do not want to miss it, so click that video now. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.